Hey guys, Kevin Ward here again. Okay, I'm just answering some of the questions, and again, from the webcast that I just completed, introducing the 100-Day List Master Challenge. And again, we had so many great questions and so much response. I want to just respond to a few of the questions that I think are pertinent to everybody, that a lot of people have benefit. And this one is not about the 100-Day List Master Challenge at all. It's actually just a question about generating business. And the question is about prospecting for short sales. Now, which is kind of an interesting question. I love the short sales are not short; they're long, they're painful, but there's a lot of money because there's a lot of them out there. So here's the question: I find that when I prospect for the short sell, Liz Pendens and so forth, that are fresh, which basically typically would mean they just got a notice of default filed or whatever, that sellers are not motivated to sell until the banks are ready to finalize their foreclosure. What do I do? Give us an approach that works. Well, here's during the 100-Day List Master Challenge, let me tell you this. We will go over specifically a step-by-step strategy for converting distressed sellers into listings and sales that are in their best interest. Because here's the reality: whenever somebody goes into default on their home, or they're facing a short sale situation, which typically means they go into default, they're financially distressed and so forth, understand this was not their plan when they bought this house. They were not ever planning on getting into trouble financially, having to lose the house. That's one of the things that when you picture how you want your life to go, losing a home to short sale is not something you ever picture. It's kind of like losing a leg. It literally is a loss. And so there's a great personal loss. So they go through literally the stages of grief that therapists and counselors talk about when somebody loses a close family member or relative. There's loss. So there's denial, there's anger, there's guilt, there's all through these phases, emotional phases that they have to go through. And so when they first go into default, many of them, in fact, most of them are go through a period of denial, and a lot of times that's when agents first make contact with them. Hey, I noticed you had an NOD filed on your house. Woohoo, you're a failure. You're a loser. Guilt, guilt, guilt. That's what these people are feeling, and so they don't want to talk to a real estate agent, and they'll give all kinds of stories. We're working on it. We got it taken care of. We have an attorney. We're getting the short loan modification. We're working it out with the bank. They're going to tell you whatever, or they're just not going to answer their door. Their phone call not interested. Boom, I'm not interested. So this question that I got on the webcast was, give us an approach that works. Well, here's the reality is, remember I talked about on the webcast, focus on working to connect, not trying to convince. Because the reality is you can't convince somebody to do something against their will, and they're not ready. Even as the question was, they're not motivated to sell until the bank's ready to foreclose. Well, the reality is they're not ready. And when they're not ready, you can't force them to do it, and you're not smart enough, good enough, fast enough, or pretty enough to talk them into doing something they don't want to do. They've got to come to grips with that. So the key is to have a process in place that keeps one where you're connecting rather than convincing. You're establishing a relationship, a value, and letting them know you're there, so that when the time is right, they're ready, that you're the one that is there and has established the connection with them as their trusted resource. How do you do that? Well, I actually share with you a step-by-step program. It's very simple, that it actually runs on autopilot, that keeps you in front of them, so that when the time is right, they're calling you. Or if it happens to be during one of the periods where you're making a follow-up phone call to them, that they are going to say, you're the one. Because what happens is most agents make one or at most two efforts to ever get a short sale listing, and then they're gone. And the key is that you be the one that's there, that you've established that relationship. And what I do is teach you the system and the skills of how you connect with them, so that their defenses are not raised, and they're not like, would you get off my step, off my porch? Would you get off my back? I've got enough pressure. I feel like a loser already because I'm losing my house, and I'm not in the financial condition I thought I was going to be in, and I don't want to talk to you ever again. Because guess what, guys? They don't want a realtor. See, they want a release from their stress. Initially, they want a way to keep their house. But once they realize that's not going to happen, now they just want somebody that can help them get out. They don't even want somebody. They just want out from under the situation. And they really don't want us. They don't want realtors. They just have no other option. So when that happens, you've got to be the one that they go like, look, you're the one that I feel like I've connected with, that I trust. that's not been a jerk, that's not been annoying, and yet you've been there consistently, and I feel that sense of that you're professional, that you care, and you can help me with my problem. That's how you do it. We'll give you the exact process to do that in the 100-day List Master Challenge. So it's a great question. The key is be there for them over and over again until they're ready to make the decision. And don't try to convince them. Try to connect with them so that when they are ready, they'll come to that. When it comes to that, the bank's about to foreclose. As long as they realize there is hope, there is options. You be the solution to the problem. But until they realize this is the solution, and I need the person who can help me be the solution, then that's when they're going to be ready to hire you. So be into that mode of, I'm not trying to get there and get your listing and get you out of this house. I'm here for you whenever you need somebody to help you get out from under this mortgage without it going to foreclosure. I'll be the one that's there for you to help you make that happen, and that's the agent you got to be.